Good morning. Today we are making my sourdough recipe. I use the whey from my yogurt. I just popped this in the microwave and warmed it up a little bit. Let me get my bowl on my scale. Okay, so in the bowl, I use 150 grams of sourdough starter. Now guys, I just pulled this out of the refrigerator probably about an hour ago and just left it set out. I do keep mine in the refrigerator. I know some people don't. Whoops, way too much. Okay, now I got it down to 153 grams. I had way too much in there. So, my starter's name is Lucy. I've had her since July. That's when I started baking with her. I started making her in June, so it took about a month before I started baking with her. I do put her in the refrigerator, like I said. I took her out of the refrigerator yesterday and let her warm up a little bit. I gave her a feeding. And I left it set on my counter for a couple of hours, and then I put the lid on her and put her back in the refrigerator. I pulled her out this morning for about an hour before I started making this. Okay, so this is the whey from my homemade yogurt. I use this instead of water. So I'm going to do 325 grams. Mm, 330, just a little over. That's fine. Okay, I'm going to take this off the scale. And I like this dough hook. If you can get this one, I highly suggest it. It's a lot better. So we'll just mix this up a little bit. I do have a paper towel here that I'm going to be putting it back on after I get it mixed. Because if I leave this in the bowl, it will slide down. So I just use a paper towel. Okay, we got light mix on there. I'm back onto the scale. Now I use 150 grams of King Arthur whole wheat flour. Okay, 151, close enough. And then I don't clear that out. I just leave it there because it goes up to 500 grams of flour. So there's no point in clearing it out. So now the rest of it will be the bread flour. Woo! Okay, I went a little over, so let's get some of that out. $503, close enough. Just remember, sourdough is supposed to be fun. Don't make it harder than it is. And now I'm just going to use some salt. I use 12 grams, my preference. Okay, right on 12. All right, so now we're just going to mix this up. Okay, my dough recipe tends to be a little drier than everybody else's, but sometimes it is just not enough liquid. So I'm going to add just a little bit more of the whey. Just a couple little splashes to help get it mixed in there. But this less hydration dough works best for me in my area. So, and it took time to figure that out. So you will have to do what will work, what works best for you and in your area. I mean, if you start out with your regular recipe where there's 150 or 350 grams of water and you find that your dough is always too wet, then you know that you need to reduce the amount of liquid. But of course, it's also getting colder in my area. So I seem to, well, I'm finding that the last couple of weeks with this colder weather that I need more liquid than I do in the summertime. So as you can see, it's all come together. So, and I will mix this for 4 or 5 minutes with this spatula. And then I cover it with a bar towel. I don't use saran wrap or those shower caps or whatever people are using. I use a towel. I just use what you have. You don't make it more difficult or be fancy, or it's not difficult and it doesn't have to be fancy. Okay, so this is what my dough looks like. And I'm going to leave her sit on the counter for an hour. And I will do a set of stretch and folds then. And I will do stretch and folds until I think my dough doesn't need it. Sometimes it's 3 sets. Sometimes it's 6. It just depends until where my dough feels light. And like it's ready to be made. Like it's a regular dough. And then I just leave it set and bulk up. So I don't have any set stretch and folds that I do. Like I said, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 6. Depends on the dough. And my house, your temperature, your elevation, the humidity in your area, on whatever day you're doing it. So everything changes. So you just have to wait and read the dough. So I hope you enjoyed this video and everybody have a great day.